And in Bahrain, opposition parties say they will boycott parliamentary and municipal elections slated for October. The National Democratic Opposition Party said they will not take part in the elections without a clear political agreement that reflects the nation's will. The last time the opposition boycotted the parliamentary polls was in 2002. Back in 2011, the largest opposition party, Wafaq, withdrew its members from parliament after the regime suppressed protests in the Persian Gulf Kingdom. Bahrain has been witnessing a popular uprising since February 2011. The protesters, mostly Shias, are demanding a greater political voice and equal rights. Scores of people have been killed and many others put behind bars by regime forces since then. From West Virginia, I'm joined by Professor Collin Canell, former lecturer at the University of Bahrain. Welcome, sir. Professor, first of all, what kind of an agreement is the Bahraini opposition looking for?
They're looking for a democratic election, which will not take place in Bahrain as long as the Al Khalifa monarchy is in place. And that has been proven true, at least for the last 14 years.
And of course, why don't we see any reaction by the West to the crackdown on peaceful demonstrators in Bahrain?
We don't see any reaction from the West because we are the hegemonic power there that wants to keep the monarchy in power. This election coming up in October for the Chamber of Deputies, the lower house of the National Assembly in Bahrain, has already been rigged. The boilerplate has been set by the Egyptian elections, which just recently took place, and the general who staged the coup in Egypt supposedly got 96% of the vote and 10 more million votes than President Morsi. So what the Saudis who control the show are doing is trying to convince the population in Bahrain, as they tried to convince the population in Egypt, that this leader, Al-Sisi, is the rightful leader, and they're going to do the same thing in Bahrain. As far as the outside world is concerned, everybody knows that the elections in Bahrain are a farce, that the regime is corrupt to the hilt, and that there is no democracy in Bahrain. But the Saudis, they know it too, but they figure this is a last-ditch attempt to try to convince the Bahraini people that there is support for the monarchy.
Indeed. Professor Collin Canell from West Virginia, as always, thanks for your thoughts there, sir.